Welcome to the Teenage Mutant Fight Club podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready for a journey.
A journey.
Into two wild tales.
All right.
From the world of flash fiction.
Flash fiction, huh? I like it.
Think blockbuster action.
Okay.
But in audio form.
I can dig it.
Today, we're diving into stories of incredible heroism. And the power of the underdog.
Underdog. I love it.
You shared some fascinating material with us.
Awesome.
And we've extracted
Oh, yeah.
the key nuggets just for you.
Nice. Nice.
Prepare for some aha moments.
Aha. I like it.
No information overload here.
Perfect.
First up, the minstrel.
Yeah, minstrel. Okay.
You sent us this poignant flash fiction story
Poignant?
about an aging bard
Okay.
named Elias
Elias.
in a ruined city.
In a ruined city.
Invaders are coming.
Ah.
The villagers have fled.
Oh, wow.
And Elias, with his fading voice, is the only one left.
It's the only one.
But his voice holds a secret, ancient power.
Ancient power, right.
Your sources paint a picture of a last desperate act of courage.
Wow.
Okay, let's unpack this.
All right, let's do it.
What initially captured your attention about this flash fiction story?
Well, what's striking right off the bat is the contrast.
Okay.
You know, the contrast between Elias's vulnerability, an aging bard in a ruined city.
Wow.
You know, his voice described as like a mournful rasp.
Yeah.
But then this hint of a latent potential, you know, with the phrase ancient power.
Yeah.
So it creates this tension.
Okay.
How can someone so diminished hold such significant force?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we have the arrival of these brutal warlords. Drawn by whispers of forgotten treasures.
Classic.
It's a classic David versus Goliath scenario.
Yeah, total underdog.
But then there's this added layer of the villagers fleeing out of kindness for Elias, rather than just abandoning him.
Interesting.
It complicates things, doesn't it?
It does.
It speaks to a different kind of community bond.
Definitely.
What are your thoughts on this unusual dynamic?
I think, you know, it might not be just straightforward altruism.
Okay.
Right? Like maybe it's a pragmatic assessment of the situation. You know, they realize they can't defend the city.
Yeah.
And they want to spare Elias from witnessing their defeat.
Right.
This tension between care and resignation really adds another layer to Elias's defiance later.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
All right.
As the war horns approach, Elias doesn't just succumb to despair.
Right.
Instead, he closes his eyes and vividly envisions the city in its former glory. Towers gleaming. Fountains cascading.
Beautiful.
The statues as proud guardians. This act of memory seems pivotal. Why do you think this moment of visualization is so significant?
It makes me think about those psychological studies. You know, the ones about mental imagery and how it can help people cope with trauma.
Right.
I think by recalling this time of glory.
Yeah.
Elias isn't just being nostalgic. He's anchoring himself to this powerful collective identity. And he's drawing strength from that shared past.
That's fascinating.
It's like he's re-inhabiting that era and drawing energy from its vibrancy.
He then begins to sing a melody.
Yeah.
Not of joy.
Okay.
But of deep, echoing sorrow.
Sorrow.
A love song to lost glories.
Wow.
A plea for a strength beyond his own frail form.
I see.
The air thrums, and a tremor ripples through the stone, described as the stretching of ancient slumbering limbs.
Slumbering limbs.
It's this direct link between his emotional state and the awakening of these guardians.
So what's your take on that?
Well, it suggests that profound emotions, like the depth of sorrow and love, Elias feels for his city, can act as a conduit.
The conduit.
To something larger than himself.
I see.
The song becomes a key, unlocking a latent power within the city itself.
Fascinating.
Think of it like a resonance.
Resonance, okay.
His emotional state vibrates at a frequency that awakens the slumbering limbs of the city's memory, manifesting as a physical tremor and the subsequent awakening.
That's powerful.
And then we have this incredible image.
Okay.
One by one.
Yeah.
The statues awaken.
They awaken?
A gargoyle.
Cool.
A knight.
Awesome.
But also bakers and blacksmiths.
Oh, wow.
Mothers and children.
Wow.
Turned to living stone.
Living stone.
An army.
Cool.
Born. Not of military might, but of a heartbroken song.
Wow.
And a city's unyielding memory.
That's an amazing image.
What does this reveal?
Well, I think it challenges our assumptions about a city's defenses. It's not just the warriors. Right. It's the collective spirit. The everyday lives, the roles of all the inhabitants.
Yeah.
It's their strength.
That's interesting.
The awakening of these ordinary people, transformed into guardians, that highlights the power of shared history. And the idea that a community's resilience lies within its people.
I like that.
Across all walks of life.
Elias continues to sing.
He does.
Each note. Taking a visible toll.
Oh, no.
As the invaders arrive, expecting an easy victory. They're met by this resurrected city. He sings a final piercing note.
Wow.
And the statues respond.
I do.
He doesn't witness the battle.
Oh.
His voice is gone.
Oh, no.
But he dies with a smile.
Oh.
Later, the battlefield is found empty. Of invaders, with the statues standing still. The villagers return and rebuild their spirit, forever marked by Elias's sacrifice.
Powerful.
The flash fiction story concludes with the powerful statement. The greatest weapons are not swords, but memory, love, and the echoes of a melody.
Wow.
Sung against impossible odds.
Powerful stuff.
What key insights stand out for you in this poignant conclusion?
The ending really highlights the power of intangible forces. The physical threat is overcome not by weapons, but by the collective memory. The love for the city, activated by Elias's song. It suggests that these emotional and historical connections are more potent than brute force.
Absolutely.
Elias's sacrifice becomes this central part of the city's narrative, ensuring its spirit and the memory of its defender will live on.
Yeah, let's journey to another realm. With Starboat.
Starboat,
This flash fiction story introduces us to a mysterious veiled voyager. Who travels in a star-powered boat.
Wow.
Bringing the forgotten art of storytelling.
Interesting.
To a desolate village. You were clearly drawn. The themes of hope and the power of narrative.
I love it.
What questions did this story spark for you?
Oh, so many.
When you first encountered it?
What immediately intrigued me was the arrival of the extraordinary. A sliver of impossibility in the form of the starboat into this mundane, maybe even hopeless setting. The image of the boat, powered by starlight, landing in this desolate village. It just creates this sense of transformative potential. It makes you wonder what kind of change this fantastical element can bring to this community that's seemingly lost its way.
The voyager's voice carries the cadence of faraway lands, of sorrow, and an enduring hope. She speaks of worlds where each one sings its own story.
Wow.
But the villagers have lost this ability. They only know instructions. Warnings. The rote retelling of the old days.
Interesting.
This stark contrast highlights the erosion of imagination. Why do you think this loss of storytelling has had such a profound impact?
I think stories are the lifeblood of a community's identity. It's how they connect to their past and their future. They provide meaning, transmit values, and foster empathy. When a community loses its stories, it risks becoming stagnant. Trapped in a cycle of survival without the inspiration and collective imagination that narratives provide. The instructions, the warnings represent this focus on the practicalities of existence, but the absence of broader narratives stifles hope and the ability to envision a different future.
The Voyager's simple request, tell me of yourselves, proves surprisingly difficult, for
yeah.
the villagers
Oh, wow.
who feel their lives of toil, hunger, the slow fading of an exiled people, hold no stories.
Oh, no.
Her response is crucial.
Okay.
Every heart holds a tale.
Every heart.
She says.
Wow.
Urging them to seek them out.
Seek them out.
This suggests that even in the most difficult circumstances, narratives exist.
Okay.
Waiting to be discovered. What kind of hidden stories do you imagine might lie within these seemingly unstoried lives?
I think within those lives of toil and hardship,
Yeah.
there are undoubtedly stories of resilience.
Okay.
Small acts of kindness,
Right.
Amidst the struggle.
Yeah.
Unique ways that individuals have survived.
Right.
It might be the story of a mother's love for her children.
Yeah.
Or a moment of unexpected beauty.
Yeah.
Witnessed in these desolate surroundings. Or, just this quiet determination to keep going against all odds. The Voyager's statement is this powerful reminder that even the most ordinary lives are rich with potential narratives.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Right.
Following the Voyager's departure, an old woman begins to speak of a time when their people danced beneath 2 moons.
2 moons.
When legends walked among them.
Wow.
A young hunter exaggerates his adventures.
Oh, I see.
And even a silent child finds a way to describe the beauty in a polluted stream.
Interesting.
These seemingly small acts
They do.
spark something significant.
Yeah.
How do these initial hesitant stories?
I think they start to break the framework of their reality. The old woman's memories, they connect them to a more vibrant past, offering a sense of heritage and wonder.
Let's see.
The hunter's exaggerations, they inject excitement and humor, which fosters a renewed sense of engagement. And the child's observation, it highlights a different way of seeing their circumstances. Finding beauty where it was previously overlooked. These small sparks of imagination reignite a shared sense of identity and possibility.
The stories evolve.
They do.
Growing beyond mere survival.
Okay.
To encompass dreams, half-remembered myths,
interesting,
and defiant wishes for a different tomorrow.
A different tomorrow.
They weave tales of resilience, cunning, love, so fierce.
Wow.
They painted stars across the bleak sky.
I like it.
Of their existence.
Wow.
This illustrates the transformative power.
The transformative power.
Of storytelling. To not just reflect reality, but to actively shape it.
I see.
What does this suggest?
I think it shows that imagination isn't just an escape. It's a vital tool for building resilience. By envisioning a different future. By reinterpreting their past through a lens of wonder. And by celebrating their strengths. Through narrative, the villagers start to redefine their present. Storytelling becomes an act of collective hope, a way of constructing a more meaningful reality, a brighter reality.
The veiled Voyager doesn't return.
She doesn't.
But her legacy glimmered.
Her legacy glimmered.
The villagers find their voices, not in despair, but in the audacity of imagination. They're no longer defined by their hardship. But as storytellers. Planting the seeds of their own transformation. The flash fiction story concludes with a child. Noticing a new, brighter star. Interpreted as a possible answer.
Oh, wow.
To their tales.
That's awesome.
The final thought is profound. The world that forgot its stories had begun to write its own.
I like that.
And as long as they could imagine, as long as the fire of possibility burned, their story was far from over what lingering thoughts.
I think the open ending emphasizes the ongoing nature of transformation and the power of narrative. The new star is this potent symbol of hope. And the idea that the universe might respond to the stories we tell.
The stories we tell.
Ultimately, it suggests that a community's future is not predetermined by its circumstances, but shaped by its ability to imagine, to create, and to share its own unfolding story.
Beautiful.
So what does this all mean for you, having taken this journey through the minstrel?
We've explored how a single act of sacrifice, rooted in memory and love, can awaken unexpected strength. And we've witnessed the transformative power of stories to reignite hope and reshape a community's identity.
Absolutely.
Consider the parallels between these two flash fiction stories.
Between the two.
In The Minstrel,
a
song. A form of ancient storytelling set to melody.
Right.
Literally animates the city's defenses.
It does.
In Starboat.
Yeah.
The act of storytelling breathes metaphorical life and a renewed sense of purpose into a fading community, both highlighting the profound power of seemingly ephemeral things, a song, a story, to create tangible and lasting change. What's particularly striking is how both narratives emphasize the importance of inner resources. Elias draws upon his memories and deep love for his city, while the villagers tap into their inherent capacity for imagination, however deeply buried it may be. Their salvation doesn't come from external forces, but from something awakened within themselves.
That's so powerful.
This journey through these two flash fiction stories raises an important question. For you to consider what songs or stories might be lying dormant within your own life or the communities you're a part of.
My own communities.
Waiting to be sung.
Wow.
Or told.
Interesting.
What forgotten memories or sparks of imagination could hold the key to navigating challenges or envisioning a brighter future.
Wow, that's deep.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
On this journey into these captivating tales.
Of course.
On the Teenage Mutant Fight Club podcast.
Absolutely.
We hope these stories
I think so too.
Have sparked your imagination and given you some food for thought.
It was my pleasure.
We encourage you to revisit the themes of memory, sacrifice, and the power of storytelling in your own life. What new perspectives have these narratives opened up for you? Rate and follow the show for more captivating stories.
More stories.
From the Teenage Mutant Fight Club podcast.
Awesome, I will.